जन्म के समय हर व्यक्ति का आयु निश्चित होता है। आयु निश्चित मतलब कैसा होता है? नॉट बेस्ड ऑन years बट बेस्ड ऑन द नंबर ऑफ breaths you take। जैसे एक बचपन में ना हम वो टॉय होता है, उसको चाबी लगाओ और वो घूमता है। यू टर्न इट लाइक 100 times, it will move for 100 times। So हार्ट, हम सबका हृदय एक मशीन की तरह है। इतना बार वो धड़केगा, it will beat for so many times। That is fixed। Every body has a certain fixed amount of breaths। So the people who are on the yoga path, these great yogis, they have great control on the breath। So they control their breath, so they breathe after very long periods, so therefore their duration increases a lot। So महाकुंभ का यही आइडिया है कि संगम में तो स्नान करना है, पर सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है महाकुंभ से आने के बाद हर व्यक्ति को स्पिरिचुअलिटी का लाइफ लेना चाहिए। आई फील दैट इज द अल्टीमेट सक्सेस ऑफ अ तीर्थ यात्रा। तीर्थ यात्रा का सफलता, महाकुंभ में स्नान का सफलता यही है कि वहां पे जाओ, डेफिनेटली स्नान करो बहुत श्रद्धा के साथ, जितने भी पाप है वो धुल जाएंगे। बट आने के बाद ऐसा एक जिंदगी जीना है जहाँ पे हम फिर से वो पापमय कार्य न करें। कहीं पे दिखता नहीं है। इंटरेस्टिंग है, अगर हमको कुंभ जाना है, यू ईदर टेक अ फ्लाइट और अ ट्रेन, और probably you go by car। You will never see Naga Babas in a flight। You will never see them in a train। You will never see them even walking, but somehow they appear in that place। So it is a phenomena of its own।
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Popcorn with Piyu. I'm your host Priyanka Naik, and today we have with us an extraordinary guest whose life is a complete blend of spirituality, wisdom, and knowledge. Achyut Gopal Das is a monk, a writer, a motivational speaker, and social activist. With years of dedication and selfless service, Swamiji has become a guiding light to countless individuals seeking purpose and clarity in life. Today, we have him with us to discuss Kumbh Mela, a monumental spiritual gathering that has inspired millions of people across the globe. From its deep rooted significance to its Indian mythology to its incredible impact on the individual, we are about to embark on the journey of knowledge and inspiration. Swamiji, it's a pleasure to have you as our guest. So let's dive right in. First of all, could you tell us what exactly is Kumbh Mela? Like, why is it celebrated after every 12 years? What is different about Kumbh Mela this year? Why is it called Maha Kumbh?
Hare Krishna। So very happy to be at this show, Popcorn with Piyu। Very happy to meet Priyanka।
Thanks. Same here, Swamiji.
So Kumbh Mela is a very important event in this land of India. For millenniums, this Kumbh Mela has been celebrated।
Yes.
So the holy place of Prayag, where Kumbh Mela is happening at present, itself is a very, very holy place.
Okay.
Prayag is considered to be Tirtharaj. So in India, there are unlimited holy places, but the king of all holy places is considered to be Prayag. So Prayag itself is a very, very holy place. And in Prayag, where this Kumbh Mela is celebrated at this point, it is a sangam of three holy rivers: Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati. In this land of India, there are many, many holy rivers, out of which 7 are very prominent. So in Prayag, 3 of the most holiest rivers, Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, the sangam is happening there. So leaving the Kumbh Mela, just the land of Prayag, just taking bath in sangam itself is considered to be a very, very holy activity. The pastime of Kumbh Mela, which we will discuss a little in detail, might be a little later. So the pastime of Kumbh Mela has connection with one of the avatars of Lord Vishnu, Mohini Murti.
Okay.
So it has a deep connection there because of the Samudra Manthan Leela. So basically, to make the long story short, one time the demigods became less powerful and the demons became more powerful. So the struggle between demons and demigods, the good forces and the evil forces, have always been there in this worldly existence.
Yes.
So at one particular time, the demigods, they worshipped their guru Shukracharya very well. So they became very powerful.
Yes.
And Indra somewhat disrespected his guru. So
Okay.
Indra lost his power.
Okay.
So all the demigods go to Lord Vishnu and say what we should do now.
Yeah.
So Lord Vishnu says, at this point, the demons are more powerful. The only way you can do it is make a truce between both. आप दोनों साथ में मिलके काम कीजिए, देवता और असुर. So both of them come together and work. दोनों साथ में समुद्र का मंथन करते हैं.
Yeah.
This is the ocean of milk, Ksheer Sagar.
Okay.
And the Lord comes in various avatars to help the demigods. And finally, there is poison that comes out. Lord Shiva drinks that poison, halahal poison. And then finally, Amrit comes out. Dhanvantari comes with the Amrit. And as soon as the Amrit comes out, the demons and the demigods have a fight over the Amrit. So it is explained that this Amrit, which was there in a pot, is called Kumbh.
Oh.
So when this fight was going on, the Amrit fell in 4 different parts in the land of India.
Okay.
So there are 4 different places in India where Kumbh Mela is celebrated. One is Prayag, which is the main place. There is Haridwar on the bank of Ganga. Then there is Ujjain on the bank of Shipra Nadi.
Yeah.
And Nashik on the bank of Godavari Nadi.
Okay.
And because the fight between demons and demigods lasted for 12 divine days in the heavenly planet, so time is relative. So 12 days there makes 12 years here. So it is explained that at a junction of 12 years, the Amrit, at a particular arrangement of the stars, the Amrit appears there. So therefore, everyone goes to get a little glimpse of that nectar, experience of that nectar of immortality. So that's how the story of Kumbh is.
So basically, it's like 12 days for God is like 12 years for
Exactly.
human
Exactly.
souls. Okay.
Exactly.
That's fascinating. Okay, speaking about ritual, which is always talk now that everywhere you open social media, everyone's talking about Kumbh Mela, and every time you talk about Kumbh Mela, they show images of people taking deep in holy water, basically having Shahi Snan. So, what exactly is this Shahi Snan, and what is the spiritual significance of it? Why is it so important to take deep in this holy water?
Yeah. So that's what I was telling you. जैसा मैं बता रहा था, गंगा यमुना सरस्वती तीनों पवित्र नदियां हैं.
Yes.
गंगा शास्त्र वर्णन करता है, गंगा में स्नान छोड़ो, गंगा का दर्शन करते ही व्यक्ति शुद्ध हो जाता है. गंगा का नाम लेते ही व्यक्ति शुद्ध होता है. So there is a story. One time, Garuda, you have heard of Garuda? Garuda is one of the carriers of Vishnu.
Yeah.
So Garuda being a vulture, vultures eat snakes. So one time Garuda caught a snake in its claws. Okay. And Garuda was taking the snake and flying away. And the snake was trembling. But Garuda came very close to the Ganga Nadi. And somehow that snake, the tail of the snake touched Ganga. Okay. And that snake got Chaturbhuj Vishnu Roop, Vishnu Dut Swarup. And Garuda, who was supposed to kill the snake, he put this Chaturbhuj Vishnu on his back and took him to Vaikuntha. Okay. So the story is just touching Ganga. Therefore, when someone dies in the land of India, everyone wants to do the final rites in Ganga. They do Asti Visarjan in Ganga. Yeah. So the idea is कि गंगा का स्पर्श करने से ही व्यक्ति शुद्ध हो जाता है, पापों से मुक्त हो जाता है. Yes. Similarly, Yamuna, Lord Krishna in Vrindavan did all his pastimes on the bank of Yamuna. Okay. And Saraswati. So these 3 rivers in itself is very, very holy. Okay. Taking bath in them in separate places, yes, वही शुद्ध है. एक साथ संगम में स्नान करना is considered very, very auspicious. Yeah. Already you get rid of all your sins. Yeah. And all the more because this is this period of 45 days of Kumbh, where you get all the more benefit of taking bath. So the idea of taking bath is, जब हम स्नान करते हैं कुंभ मेला में, एक है हृदय का शुद्धिकरण होता है. Your heart becomes more pure because visiting a holy place has a certain vibrations. Yeah. Like we understand, na? Like in Goa, you go to the casinos, you have a different set of vibrations. So similarly, visiting a holy place has its vibrations. Sure. So ये नदियां ऑलरेडी पवित्र है. संगम में जब भगवान राम ये दुनिया में लीला कर रहे थे,
Yeah.
When Lord Ram was going to the forest, he took bath in Prayag Sangam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is considered an avatar of Krishna. He took bath there. So that's what I was telling you. Sangam is a combination of three rivers.
Yes.
It is a combination of three avatars of Vishnu also. ये जो लीला है संगम का, 3 अवतार है, मोहिनी मूर्ति, भगवान राम, चैतन्य महाप्रभु, तीनों ने इस संगम के लिए कंट्रीब्यूशन किया है. So it's a very very holy place. And all the more ये पीरियड में संगम में इतने सारे साधु संत आते हैं, lakhs of people with one aspiration to grow in spirituality, to experience a deeper connection with God. तो उनका भी संगम है. So that is also a sangam of holy places, holy people. So when you go to such a sangam in this particular junction of time, the benefit you get is immense. बहुत सारा benefit मिलता है. The path to spirituality opens up.
Swamiji, because you have mentioned about sadhus and the sages going to Ganga during this period specifically, I have this question. Now, research and science says that Ganga has become polluted over the time. But while I was preparing for this podcast, I came across some of the articles which says that, so there's this thing, so I don't know how far I'm right or wrong, I might be incorrect, but they say that while in the beginning of Maha Kumbh Mela, like when it starts on Makar Sankranti, that day some of the greatest sages of all time come there and they take a dip early in the morning, and only those people who are spiritually awakened can see them, because these sages have been living for centuries together. Again, they say after those sages take a dip in that water, the purity of this water increases. Like though earlier it was tested impure, but now it can be tested to be a pure water. Is it true?
Yeah, very much true. Definitely that's true. So in this land of India, there are so many sages who never ever come out to give darshan to anyone. Only in this period of Kumbh they come out. And you said, as you said, probably ऐसे बहुत सारे साधु संत हैं जो हम अपने दृष्टि से देख भी नहीं सकते. शायद ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि डेमिगॉड्स आल्सो कम इन डिफरेंट फॉर्म्स. देवता भी आते हैं संगम में स्नान करने के लिए. तो दिस इज ये ऐसा एक इवेंट है जो हमारे मेंटल कॉम्प्रिहेंशन से बाहर है. वी कैन नॉट अंडरस्टैंड इट. यू नो देयर आर ऐसे भी योगी हैं जो 200 साल 500 साल जी रहे हैं. दे नेवर कम आउट एंड दे कम हियर. दे जस्ट अपीयर हियर. Coming back to your point, Ganga in one sense never gets polluted. गंगा कभी अशुद्ध होता नहीं है. या भारत दृष्टिकोण से externally it may there may be some pollutions, but still the purity is always there. But scriptures, the Bhagavatam has a very interesting shloka. It says Tirtha Kurvanti Tirthan. So holy place has a power to purify. शुद्ध स्थली जो है, पवित्र स्थली लोगों को शुद्ध कराता है. People go to a holy place to get purified. But a holy place becomes purified when sadhus come to that holy place. So therefore, the real Sangam actually is having darshan of all these great sadhus. So even a तीर्थ स्थली, प्रयाग जैसा भी तीर्थ स्थली साधु संतों के लिए रुका रहता है. And the great saints, ऐसे जो महान संत हैं, उनके पास शक्ति है तीर्थ स्थली को भी शुद्ध बनाने के लिए. So that is the Shastric understanding of it.
Wow. Swamiji, I've also heard about Kalpavasis. I would like to know who are they and what unique practice do they have during Kumbh?
Yeah, so Kalpavasis, ideally the word Kalpa basically refers to one day of Brahma. ब्रह्मा जी का एक दिन जो 1000 दिव्य युग होते हैं, टेक्निकली उसको कल्प बोलते हैं. पर कुंभ मेला के कंटेक्स्ट में कल्प का अर्थ है, कल्पवासी का अर्थ है जो पूरे कुंभ मेला के 45 डे पीरियड में वहीं पे निवास करते हैं. फॉर मोस्ट पीपल कुंभ मेला में जाना ही बड़ी बात होती है. जस्ट टू रीच कुंभ मेला. लाइक नाउडेज पीपल वर टेलिंग मी दैट everyone wants to go because the hype is building gradually, but the tickets are so high, it's very difficult for everyone to actually reach there. So कुंभ में जाना ही बहुत बड़ी बात होती है. एक बार स्नान करना बड़ी बात होती है. ये जो लोग कल्पवासीज हैं, they take a vow, वो लोग प्रण लेते हैं कि पूरे कुंभ मेला के समय पे वहीं पे रहेंगे. So they stay in simple tents there for this full period of Kumbh Mela,
Okay,
and they
can
take
they?
bath every day.
Sorry for interruption, but can they be common men like us, or
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
can be? They need to be sadhus.
Anything, even common,
Anyone,
anyone. Yeah,
someone who is into grastashram.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So they take a vow just to stay there. They take bath every day, and in Kumbh Mela there are different tents of different sadhus, different paths in the Vedic Dharma. So Sanatan Dharma is very wide. So there are different people who are like they are their goals are slightly different. Some are worshippers of Shiva, some are worshippers of Vishnu. So you have different Vaishnavas, different people, and they have their little tents. So Kalpavasis are people who just stay there for this entire period. ये पूरे पीरियड तक वहीं पर रहते हैं, रोज स्नान करते हैं, सरल भोजन लेते हैं, सुबह शाम अपना समय भजन कीर्तन में लगाते हैं, एंड दे ट्राई टू गेट द मैक्सिमम, सबसे ज्यादा लाभ लेने का प्रयास करते हैं.
Okay, that's amazing. Why do millions of people all over the globe come to Kumbh Mela? Like, what fascinates them? What draws them in?
आई थिंक फॉर मेनी पीपल देयर इज मेनी थिंग्स. अलग अलग लोगों के लिए अलग अलग चीज है. एक शायद जस्ट द sheer नंबर ऑफ पीपल,
Curiosity.
क्यूरियोसिटी, जस्ट टू सी द sheer नंबर ऑफ पीपल. मतलब ये एक ही इवेंट है पूरे दुनिया में, इन प्लैनेट अर्थ, द ओनली रिलीजियस इवेंट दैट ड्रॉज सो मेनी पीपल टुगेदर.
Yeah.
अभी थोड़े दिन पहले मौनी अमावस्या गया. ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर डे लिटरली बिलियंस ऑफ पीपल. सो दिस इटसेल्फ इज लाइक अ गिनीज बुक, कैसे आते हैं लोग. एंड सबसे आश्चर्य बात है, आजकल तो सोशल मीडिया है, पर पहले जमाने में भी कुंभ होता था विदाउट एनी एडवर्टाइजमेंट. कुछ भी एडवर्टाइजमेंट नहीं हो रहा है, जीरो एडवर्टाइजमेंट, एंड सो मेनी पीपल रीच देयर. दिस इटसेल्फ इज अ मिरेकल टू सी सो मेनी कॉमन मेन गो देयर. मतलब आई ऑलवेज फील दैट इवन इन दिस डे इतना मटेरियल एडवांसमेंट हो चुका है, द सोसाइटी इज ग्रेजुअली बिकमिंग मोर एंड मोर मटेरियलिस्टिक. फिर भी आज के समाज में सनातन धर्म is so very powerful, so very vibrant. So I think a lot of people go to get that feel of that power of Sanatan Dharma. And as you said, it is also a time बहुत सारे साधु संतों का दर्शन होता है एक साथ, जिनका दर्शन करना बहुत मुश्किल है. So I think that is another pull for people also. And yeah, definitely taking bath in the Sangam in this period.
Yeah.
एंड सब लोग जानते हैं कि ये कुंभ जो है फिर से 12 साल बाद आएगा. और ये स्पेशल कुंभ है, महाकुंभ. सो आई थिंक आपने पहले ही पूछा था. सो आफ्टर एवरी 12 years द कुंभ मेला हैपेंस.
Yes.
सो एक्चुअली इन प्रयाग every year there is a mela that happens called Magh Mela.
Magh Mela.
Magh Mela.
Okay.
The same period, January time. That is every year. Once in 6 years there is something called Ardha Kumbh.
Okay.
A little of that Amrit appears. So this Ardha Kumbh, माघ मेला सिर्फ प्रयाग में होता है, बाकी चारों जगह पे नहीं होता. अर्ध कुंभ प्रयाग और हरिद्वार में होता है. तो ये पूर्ण कुंभ जो है सिर्फ प्रयाग, चारों जगह पे होता है. पर ये जो स्पेशल महाकुंभ है, when 12 such कुंभ मेला are completed, then it is called महाकुंभ. तो लोगों को पता है कि फिर से ये अवसर आना असंभव है. And everyone knows that after 12 years, we really don't know whether we can go or not.
Yeah.
So I think, people are very desperate to go and get that little experience.
Yes. Swamiji, another thing that I have always been curious about recently is the Naga Sadhus. Honestly, I don't know much about them, but I have seen their images on social media. Like, I have seen sadhus who have smeared ashes over their body, having dreadlocks. But I'm curious to know who are they. And I've also heard that around 400 sadhus have come to Kumbh Mela last time when it occurred 12 years ago. This year they don't have fixed numbers as of now because they have sadhus who are still coming. Again, another thing that I have heard is there are Naga sadhus who are coming, but they don't have any official identity according to the Indian government. Like, they don't have Aadhaar card or any ID proof. No one knows where they go, where they live post this event. So, do you have some information about that?
टेक्निकली हम सब वैष्णव मार्ग में है, नागा साधुस के बारे में बहुत ज्यादा पता नहीं, पर इतना पता है कि वो लोग बहुत कठोर तपस्या करते हैं.
Okay.
देयर वे ऑफ लाइफ इज सिवियर ऑस्टेरिटी.
Yeah.
हिमालय में गोमुख में जहाँ पे इतनी ठंडी है, वो अवस्था में रहते हैं बिना वस्त्र के. दे आर रियल ऑस्टियर पीपल, वेरी वेरी पावरफुल पीपल. और जैसे आपने बताया, कहीं पे दिखता नहीं है. इंटरेस्टिंग है, अगर हमको कुंभ जाना है, यू ईदर टेक अ फ्लाइट और अ ट्रेन,
Yeah.
or probably you go by car. You'll never see Naga Babas in a flight. You'll never see them in a train. You'll never see them even walking, but somehow they appear in that place. So it is a phenomena of its own. एक अद्भुत एक फिनोमेना है. तो एज आई टोल्ड यू, ये नागा बाबास जो हैं बहुत कठोर जिंदगी जीते हैं, क्योंकि बेसिकली द आइडिया इज दैट बाय प्रैक्टिसिंग ऑस्टेरिटी यू गेट डिटैचमेंट फ्रॉम द बॉडी. शरीर से विरक्ति मिलता है, एक आध्यात्मिक अनुभव होता है. एंड दे आर ऑल वर्शिपर्स ऑफ शिवा. शिव जी के उपासक हैं. उनके हाथ में त्रिशूल होता है, डमरू होता है.
Can you elaborate on this line? Like, by practicing austerity, you get detachment from your body?
Yeah. So basically,
With an example.
Yeah. So basically, ये दुनिया में हम सब शरीर के साथ आ सकते हैं. We identify with the body.
Yeah.
Even though the scriptures say we are spirit soul, हम सब आत्मा है, हम ब्रह्मास्मि, पर हम शरीर के साथ इतने आ सकते हैं कि so attached to the body. So when you embrace, जब आप आध्यात्मिक मार्ग स्वीकार करते हैं,
Yeah.
तो थोड़ा थोड़ा शरीर के साथ डिटैचमेंट होता है. एंड आध्यात्मिक मार्ग मतलब तपस्या. देखिए, ये दुनिया में कुछ भी पाने के लिए थोड़ा ऑस्टेरिटी तो लगता ही है कि नहीं. ये पॉडकास्ट बनाने के लिए भी थोड़ा ऑस्टेरिटी लगता है, राइट. पढ़ाई करने के लिए ऑस्टेरिटी लगता है, काम करने के लिए ऑस्टेरिटी लगता है. तो भगवान की प्राप्ति करनी है तो आसानी से तो नहीं होने वाला है, थोड़ा तो तपस्या लगता ही है. सो व्हेन यू embrace the path of austerity a little, then those realizations come. थोड़ा बहुत साक्षात्कार होते हैं भगवान.
Okay. So what sets them apart from other sadhus?
I think that's what they are. जैसे हम those who are in the Vaishnav line,
Yeah.
जो वैष्णवास हैं, worshippers of Vishnu, there is austerity in our line also definitely, but the more focus is on devotion to God, devotion to Krishna.
Okay.
There is deity worship, like that. That's the more focus, reading Gita, reading Bhagavatam, doing Kirtan. So the Naga Babas, the first thing is you don't have women in their group. It's only
They are
men.
only men.
They are only men.
Oh.
That's the first thing. As there are certain principles that are same everywhere. The principle of brahmacharya, certain principles are same everywhere. But their line is more focused on real hardcore austerity. In one sense, very hardcore austerity, which may not be possible for everyone and anyone. हर एक व्यक्ति के लिए संभव नहीं होगा. It can be little difficult, dangerous also if you're not ready for that kind of a life. So it's a little extreme kind of experience.
Have you ever met any of the Naga sadhus in life?
No, I've heard about Naga sadhus. My spiritual master, मेरे जो गुरु हैं, राधानाथ स्वामी महाराज.
Yeah.
In his book Journey Home, he mentions about Naga Babas because when he was in the land of India,
Yeah.
in search of God, he met these Naga Babas. So my little experience of Naga Babas is from what I read from the book. But this year, for me also, it's my first year in Kumbh Mela, first experience. So I'm not yet gone. अब तक मैं पहुंचा नहीं, but I'm going now quite soon.
Okay.
So hopefully, I'll get to meet them.
Yeah.
At least get to see them.
Okay. Can you tell us about the Vaishnava sadhus? Who are they?
Yeah. So Vaishnavas basically means those who are worshippers of Vishnu. Yeah,
Okay.
Lord Krishna, Lord Ram, they are called Vaishnavas.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is devotion to God. So there are different paths. Like there is a path of austerity, there is a path of knowledge, jnana, there's a path of karma, and there's a path of bhakti. जो भगवान गीता में बताते हैं, भागवत में बताया गया है. तो जो वैष्णव, जो भक्त भक्ति के अनुसार, भक्ति शास्त्र के अनुसार अपना जिंदगी जीते हैं, उनको वैष्णव साधु बोलते हैं. एंड वैष्णव sadhus can be grahasthas also and they can be brahmachari sannyasis also.
Okay.
So सबके लिए ओपन है. You can have Vaishnav sadhus who are women also. So the path of bhakti is open for everyone. हर एक व्यक्ति के लिए खुला है. It is more to do with devotion than externals. External से ज़्यादा devotion है. तो हमारा भी कंट्रीब्यूशन है ये कुंभ मेला में. बहुत सालों से जब शिला प्रभुपाद इस्कॉन के फाउंडर आचार्य 1970s में उन्होंने इस्कॉन की स्थापना की, उस समय से प्रभुपाद कुंभ मेला जाते आए हैं. उस समय से इस्कॉन के सदस्य कुंभ मेला जाते हैं. पर हमारा कुंभ मेला में जाने का डेफिनेटली भाव है, स्नान तो करना ही है.
हाँ.
पर हमारा मेन भाव है कि इतने सारे लोग आ रहे हैं, इतने सारे साधु संत आ रहे हैं,
हाँ.
उनका सेवा करने का अवसर है. सो वी गो इन दैट मूड टू कुंभ मेला टू सर्व. क्योंकि हमारा शास्त्रों में गीता भागवत में भगवान बताते हैं सबसे बड़ा अमृत, स्पीकिंग अबाउट नेक्टर, दैट जूस, सबसे बड़ा अमृत है सेवा का अमृत, नेक्टर ऑफ सर्विस. तो वहां पे एक बार अमृत का अनुभव होगा, पर जिंदगी भर कुंभ में स्नान करता रहना है, अमृत का अनुभव करता रहना है. सो एम्ब्रेस द लाइफ ऑफ सर्विस. दैट्स वेयर वी फोकस ऑन इन दिस पर्टिकुलर कुंभ मेला. Every day our ISKCON camp, ISKCON devotees, they are serving 1 lakh prasadam to the pilgrims. 1 lakh every day. उसके साथ साथ lakhs of Bhagavad Gita being distributed. लोगों को जाके हम मिलते हैं, लोगों को गीता के बारे में बताते हैं, हरि नाम संकीर्तन होता है. So like that. And more facilities, helping people with the boat, trying to serve them. So that has been our focus from the beginning.
Okay. Swamiji, while we had our conversation in the beginning, I mentioned about sadhus who have been in samadhis for like centuries together. Even you mentioned about it. Again, while I was preparing for this podcast, I came across one American guy who is now into spirituality, Indian method of spirituality. He says he got to know about a sadhu. That sadhu is also natively from America, but from the time he became sadhu, he's living in India. But he has been in India even before British invasion, and he's still alive. He comes every time for Kumbh Mela. He does interact with people, and he says that the worst time of his life is usually when he interacts and when he gets distracted from his samadhi. Otherwise, he's always good to go. This is something which is uncommon because usually a human lifespan is for around 100 years. That's the max you can expect in the current era. Do you know any such incidents, something like that?
Yeah. If you go to Kumbh Mela, आप जब कुंभ मेला जाएंगे, it will be a lot of culture shock, especially for those who are from the science background. बहुत कुछ ऐसा चीज होगा जो साइंटिस्ट या साइंस बैकग्राउंड सब समझ नहीं सकते, क्योंकि आजकल का जो आधुनिक विज्ञान है उससे कहीं ज्यादा श्रेष्ठ है द साइंस ऑफ स्पिरिचुअलिटी, वैदिक विज्ञान. तो बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग इस प्रकार है कि जन्म के समय हर व्यक्ति का आयु निश्चित होता है. आयु निश्चित मतलब कैसे होता है? Not based on years, but based on the number of breaths you take.
Okay.
जैसे एक बचपन में ना हम वो टॉय होता है, उसको चाबी लगाओ और वो घूमता है. You turn it like 100 times, it will move for 100
times. Yeah.
So heart, हम सबका हृदय एक मशीन की तरह है. इतना बार वो धड़केगा. It will beat for so many times. That is fixed. Every body has a certain fixed amount of breaths. So the people who are on the yoga path, these great yogis, they have great control on the breath. So they control their breath, so they breathe after very long periods. So therefore their duration increases a lot. उनका duration बहुत बढ़ता है. So it is a science. You'll find in Maha Kumbh people who are like floating in the air. These siddhis are there. Nowadays, the yogis may have a little siddhis, but you can imagine 100, 200 years back, 300 years back, the yogis were much more powerful. They could literally walk on water, and all these siddhis are very much possible. क्योंकि ये अलग एक विज्ञान है. This is a different science altogether. और उसमें एक सफलता सिद्धि प्राप्त करने के लिए you have to be that ऐसा नहीं कि हर व्यक्ति कर पाएगा. You have to be that focused, that dedicated. And एक व्यक्ति out of millions of people, one may actually get some siddhi like that.
Okay, that is deep. So, Maha Kumbh is basically a massive gathering wherein people all over the globe come together. So, how does this collective energy of millions of people praying, meditating, and taking holy dip affect those who are attending? Like, do you think it has emotional and spiritual impact on those who are experiencing it? Someone who is just a common man may not be spiritually awakened. You think it has impact on them?
Yeah, definitely. मैं तो इतना तक बोलूंगा कि even those who are not attending are going to get benefit. हमारे वैदिक धर्म में, सनातन धर्म में हमेशा ये भाव रहा है कि हम जो भी करते हैं दुनिया के लिए करते हैं. वसुधैव कुटुंबकम. You do a yajna, you do it for the benefit of the world.
Okay.
This is the only dharma that thinks about the entire world. So this kind of संगम, ऐसा जो संगम है जहाँ पे करोड़ों साधु संत आते हैं, सामान्य जनता आते हैं, संगम में स्नान करते हैं, ये जो वाइब्रेशंस हैं, जो लोग वहां पे आते हैं, डेफिनेटली दे विल बी वेरी मच अफेक्टेड, दे विल बी वेरी 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 टच्ड, दे विल इवॉल्व स्पिरिचुअली. और हम देख रहे हैं ऑलरेडी, वी आर ऑलरेडी सीइंग दैट. हम जो हाइप देख रहे हैं, इट जस्ट नॉट अ हाइप, सोशल मीडिया हाइप. ये जेन्युइन भाव है, लोगों के हृदय में आ रहा है कि हमको भी जाना है, वी वांट टू एक्सपीरियंस दैट. एंड लॉट ऑफ यंगस्टर्स, इट्स नाइस टू सी यंगस्टर्स डूइंग दिस पॉडकास्ट. लॉट ऑफ यंगस्टर्स, they are taking this journey, they are taking a car ride all the way to Kumbh, they want to experience that. Youth, youngsters around the world are coming to experience something like this.
Yeah.
So I think it is a very powerful event. बहुत शक्तिशाली एक इवेंट है. जो लोग वहां पे जाते हैं, डेफिनेटली उनका शुद्धिकरण होगा, their path to spirituality will open up. पर जो लोग वहां जाते भी नहीं है, just by hearing about it, just by being at this junction of time, उनको भी लाभ मिलेगा.
Okay. Is there something more about Maha Kumbh that you would like to share with us?
या सो महाकुंभ का यही आइडिया है कि संगम में तो स्नान करना है, पर सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है महाकुंभ से आने के बाद हर व्यक्ति को स्पिरिचुअलिटी का लाइफ लेना चाहिए. आई फील दैट इज द अल्टीमेट सक्सेस ऑफ अ तीर्थ यात्रा. तीर्थ यात्रा का सफलता, महाकुंभ में स्नान का सफलता यही है कि वहां पे जाओ, डेफिनेटली स्नान करो बहुत श्रद्धा के साथ, जितने भी पाप है वो धुल जाएंगे. बट आने के बाद ऐसा एक जिंदगी जीना है जहाँ पे हम फिर से वो पापमय कार्य न करें. दैट इज समथिंग दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, विच आई थिंक पीपल आर नॉट एबल टू फोकस ऑन. तो वहां पे जाके वो वाइब्रेशन स्पिरिचुअलिटी का अब्जॉर्ब करना है और आके अपने जिंदगी में थोड़ा सुधार ला सकते हैं, थोड़ा बहुत स्पिरिचुअलिटी को एम्ब्रेस कर सकते हैं. आई थिंक दैट विल बी द परफेक्ट कंक्लूजन ऑफ दिस महाकुंभ. और ऐसे लाखों लोग, जस्ट इमेजिन लैक्स ऑफ पीपल embracing the path of spirituality, we can definitely have a world that is much more better.
Yeah.
ऐसा एक दुनिया होगा जहाँ पे शांति होगा, सुख होगा, प्रेम होगा. So this Mahakumbh is an opening for that, but it shouldn't end with Mahakumbh. It should continue beyond Mahakumbh also. So that is our prayer and hope.
Okay. Okay. What is the final message you would like to give to all the youth regarding spirituality?
Good. Thank you for that question.
Yeah.
So it's important that youngsters take up. The success of any society is when youngsters pick up the path of spirituality, when they have purpose in life. आज के दुनिया में youngsters don't have any purpose. They just waste. Youth is a period where you have maximum energy, you know, intelligence. Everything is like really vibrant. If that phase is lost in doing nothing, you know, without any pursuit, without any goal, it's a sheer waste. You know, you will not be able to get that kind of energy and that kind of life back. Chanakya Pandit, who is a very great scholar, a philosopher in the land of India, वो हमेशा बताते हैं कि पैसा गया तो वापस आ सकता है, समय गया तो वापस नहीं आ सकता. The period of youth gone, you cannot rewind and live that part again. So youngsters generally are in the mood of enjoyment. They want to become very, very successful materially. That's wonderful. But it is also important to understand what is sustainable success. सस्टेनेबल सक्सेस क्या है, ग्राउंडेड सक्सेस क्या है। मैं जनरली हमेशा ये उदाहरण देता हूँ। इन द लैंड ऑफ इंडिया हमारे दो बहुत महत्वपूर्ण पुस्तक हैं। These are called two epics, history books. One is Mahabharata and one is Ramayana. And the central lesson from both these books is the message to the youth and the message to everyone here. In Ramayana, you have the story of Ravan. Ravan was very successful materially. Materially बहुत successful था. उसका he had an island of gold, golden Lanka. अभी इससे ज्यादा तो कोई सक्सेसफुल हो नहीं सकता. You can't have anyone become more successful than this. रावण के पास material success था, but he didn't have the connection with God with him very prominently. Ravan had Lanka, but he didn't have Ram. And we all know the story of Ramayana. Ravan loses Lanka also because he dies, and he doesn't have Ram also. He's not a devotee of Ram. But Ravan had a younger brother, Vibhishan, was very intelligent. Vibhishan gave up Lanka. उन्होंने लंका को छोड़ दिया, रावण के साथ कनेक्शन छोड़ दिया भगवान राम को प्राप्त करने के लिए. Vibhishan made that connection with Ram his priority in life. Vibhishan, at the end, he got Ram also, and he became the king of Lanka also. And in Mahabharata, similar line, you have Kauravas and Pandavas. Duryodhan was heading the Kaurava team. He had Hastinapur, he became the king of Hastinapur. But he was not a devotee of Krishna. He didn't embrace spirituality. Materially successful, but spiritually he had no connect. At the end, he didn't have God also with him, and he had to lose Hastinapur also. The Pandavas, they lost Hastinapur in one sense, but they gave priority to that connection with God, spirituality. And at the end, they became kings of Hastinapur, and they got Krishna also. So therefore, the youth especially is looking for success. So this is the Ramayana, Mahabharata, Gita formula for success. As you pursue your material path, your material success, marry that with the connection with God. If you do that, then you will be victorious in both levels. You'll have a win-win situation.
That's a wonderful message, Swamiji. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your wisdom with us. I'm sure that our listeners will be deeply motivated and enlightened with this.
Thank you. Very happy to be in this show.
Thank you, sir.
Popcorn with Piyu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, listeners, for joining into this special episode of Popcorn with Piyu. I hope you have enjoyed this conversation. Stay tuned for more insightful conversation like this. Until the next time,